Number 10, Browns over the Commanders. We got the official post-game show coming up next. Myself and Fred Smoot live from the concourse. You also check us out on YouTube as well, and the Big 100 or wherever you may be around the Washington Commanders radio network. The season on the brink of being officially over. We'll get into all of it, where to go wrong. But before we do all that, we need to pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Washington Commanders radio network. All right, Commanders lose to the Browns 24-10, putting them on the brink of elimination. We'll come back. We'll get calls. We'll get in the locker room. All that coming up with the official Commanders post-game show. Before we do that, we need to hit break number 30 for a network with you. You're listening to Washington Commanders Radio Network.
The Meadow Farms Nursery family wants to say thank you.
It's fourth down, seconds on the clock. He hands it off, finds a hole in the middle. Clear, nothing but
Brian, move!
incredible. A touchdown ball win. I can't believe it.
Pizza, better with Pepsi.
You ever wonder why people are always on their phones? They're banking with Bank of America. Look at this guy. He bought those tickets on his credit card and he's racking up the rewards.
She's using Zelle to pay him back for the hot dogs he's about to buy.
That's going to bring it to
And
a
the
close here
announcer?
after 3.
He's not checking the stats. He's finding some investment ideas with Merrill.
And third, as you know, in baseball means 3.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?
The holidays are for making memories, and you can count on Honda to help you make them. Whether it's in a capable Ridgeline, adventurous CRV, a rugged Passport, or a dynamic Pilot, start making memories of your own with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Well, my baby does gives me special love. It's the kind of stuff.
Honey, it's your turn.
I'm on cloud 9.
Pizza, better with Pepsi.
Going through that journey, you might have been conscious of it, but still at the same time not conscious about the stuff that you've been going through. That's kind of has been telling you, like, and the other side, like, hey man, you can give up now if you want to.
Right.
What is it like to just be that person that's kind of living that?
Man, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Because in reality, most people don't think it's gonna be them, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has a motivational story, but you don't know it's gonna be you that's gonna have the one that touches so many people. And I can't thank nobody but God, you know, these guys and downstairs in this building and these coaches. And all of you guys, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, it take a village. Yeah. It take a village. And believe it or not, most people won't say it, but like we pay attention to the things that you guys say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You the OGs. You the guys that have walked in and have done it at a high level. So the respect level is there. Yeah. So when guys like you get behind players like us, like that means something, that whole weight. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times like I've heard something you guys have said and you probably don't even realize what it was. Yeah. But it resonated with me to the point where it was like, all right,
somebody see you.
That's validation. Yeah, somebody see it.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody see it. And that just gives you that urge to keep going and keep digging. Yeah. And like, yeah, man, like it's the village, man. The village got me here. I can't take all credit for that because it's a small fraction of me and it's a big fraction of everybody else around me.
Wow. What a way to ring in the new year. Quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, it was terrible. Just say it, Jack.
It was awful. It was terrible with a capital T. Oh, my goodness.
We ain't won a game since last year, and that's the truth.
Since the Falcons game.
Yes, man. This one right here, it's hard to quantify until you say who was the quarterback.
It was really bad, and today not only was the quarterback play worse than it was previously, but you also had a defense that was awful in the second half. I mean, they really weren't good in the first half, but the Browns kept you in the game by forgetting Nick Chubb was getting 9 yards a carry, and you get in the red zone and you try to make Deshaun Watson the star, but then Deshaun Watson was the star.
No, he was
in the second half. He's very good, and Amari Cooper, who continues to murder this franchise, did it again. This time wearing a Browns jersey. Of course, he used to do it with the Cowboys all the time. And just an embarrassing effort for the second time on the home field, in the last, 3 home games now, where they've had this high-leverage opportunity and they've laid an absolute egg. This was obviously much worse than the primetime debacle against the Giants. But here they are, and now you got to be one of these teams that hopes Kirk Cousins can bail you out tonight.
Well, it's one of them things where it's
the irony.
It's how. Yeah. It's why. Yeah. It's what. Yeah. Like everybody in the fan base trying to come up with answers right now. I'm sure everybody want to say, you know what, Carson Wentz. That's where everything gonna start at. But let me tell you a little secret. That defense didn't show up today.
Right.
And it's one common denominator I'm starting to see right now. When Cameron Curl is not on the field, big plays happen in the defensive backfield.
Very true.
It got 2 reasons to do. First of all, he's talented. All right. Second of all, he's the mouth box of that situation. He speaks everything. He's the coach. He changes everything for him.
Yep.
So when he's not there, the communication is not clean. All right. Things change. All right. And we give up. I seen 2 passes today by Amari Cooper. I don't even know who to blame for the touchdown because it wasn't nobody near him. All right. So at the end of the day, the situation has to be cleaned up. Not only with the players, but with the coaching staff. You cannot go downhill when one player comes up missing.
Yeah, and they obviously have a lot to answer to. I mean, they thought they could run this system with Carson Wentz, and he threw 2 picks in the first half. He was jumpy from the get-go.
Yep.
Rewind, to all of the nightmares you had watching him play at the end of last year. If you're a Colts fan, you could have relived them today watching him in a Commander's uniform. So here they are. And, a debacle, and they are pretty much out of the playoffs at this point, although I guess it's 7-8-1. They're still alive if Kirk Cousins your guy. You fight that. You fight that. Can win tonight at Lambeau Field, and then you still need help next week. But that's what it boils down to. All right, we're brought to you by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and pay nothing until 2025. Visit windownation.com. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to get to some of the post-game press conference stuff in a bit with, or I should say interviews with Julian London. We'll get your calls, 800-493-1003, 800-493-1003. You're watching Command Center post-game live on the Washington Commanders YouTube channel and listening to Washington Commanders football.
Dude. Fire. Grill master, huh?
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Holiday scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery.
Must have left them in the car.
They're sure to make spirits bright.
The holidays are for making memories, and you can count on Honda to help you make them. Whether it's in a capable Ridgeline, adventurous CRV, a rugged Passport, or a dynamic Pilot, start making memories of your own with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Washington Commanders football is back, and so is our BOGO. On game day, buy 1 large pizza and get a 2nd large pizza for free. Order online or download the app today. Paisanos, official pizza partner of the Washington Commanders.
Congratulations. You're the Pro Bowl special teams guy. You're the starter. You earned it, young man. everything you've done, and I know your mom would be proud. You earned it, young man.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Coach, I still get goosebumps, and I could watch that 100 times over. But what was it like for you being able to deliver that news for those guys, especially to Jeremy Reeves? Because his story, people don't even have to know who he is or follow the Commanders to be touched by that video.
No, I agree. And you know, the big thing about it was like Jonathan getting his second after we'd given him his contract last year that he earned. And then now Terry getting his first after he earned the contract. And then anybody that's been steady for us this year, it really, truly has been Tress Way. But the guy that's got the tremendous story more than anything else is Jeremy. So telling him really, that was really a cool thing for me personally. It really was, because here's a young man that we actually cut my first year, but we put him on practice squad. And I told him, I promise you that when we get an opportunity, we'll bring you up. And I did. And when he came up, he played lights out ever since, and he's been a big part of what we've been trying to build here.
And even why we were talking about him today in the show as well is because he's making the most of his opportunities, and man, couldn't happen to better guys. And of course, that's a testament to the coaching staff as well.
Back here at FedEx Field on the concourse after a 24-10 loss to the Browns. Ron Rivera will be joining Jim Donaldson and London Fletcher momentarily. We'll go down to the locker room and hear from him then. But I did see on his podium that he just wrapped up with the media that he said that obviously TBD Week 18 on quarterback. And I'm sure part of it is whether or not the game means anything or not in terms of do you have a playoff chance or not? Because if you don't, I think you have to play Sam Howell, correct?
I don't think it's a point where we don't have a chance. You think if Detroit wins today, we don't have a chance?
No. If Minnesota, or excuse me, if Green Bay wins tonight, they're out. They're eliminated with a Packers win tonight. The Commanders would be eliminated because then the Packers-Lions game would be winner take all for that last wild card spot.
And both of those are the teams that we're going against to get in there.
Yeah. So that's a scenario where it means nothing. So until the Packers game, which is kicking off like right now, or in the next 15 minutes, excuse me, because this game got over too early. Yes, that's what I was saying. Thank you for waking up. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah. You know what?
I mean, we've only been on the air for 10 minutes. Thanks for showing up.
That's what I'm telling you.
It's worse than the team today. You're as out as they are.
So Kirk Cousins has to come through one more time for the Washington Commanders to go to the playoffs.
Exactly.
We need Dirty Kirk to do his job in Green Bay. But guess what? If I'm a betting man, let's just say I was going to jump in my car and head to the MGM, I would say he'll do it.
All right, let's throw it down to the locker room right now. We send it down to Julie in London, brought to you by Finch Turf, your exclusive John Deere Golf and Sports and Turf dealer. Guys?
All right, Coach Rivera, let me start off with you make a decision to go to Carson Wentz because you want more explosive plays and believing that he can be the one that can help give a spark here. Will you assess what you saw from Carson today?
Well, I thought, early on started a little slow. He was definitely rusty, that's for sure. And then we had a nice drive just before the end of the half that really kind of, gave us some momentum, I thought, going into the halftime.
Do you now, with the way that this game plays out, do you make another decision at the quarterback going forward next week with the Cowboys?
I think, that's the fair thing to do, yes.
Coach, you mentioned after halftime the momentum with the offense, but defensively really had Deshaun Watson bottled up in the first half, 4 sacks. Second half, he was able to have three touchdown passes. I'm looking at it, I'm saying the loss of Cam Curl, you see the huge dividends for a guy who really knows what you guys are trying to do and how you use him in so many different ways. And it just seems like his void is a lot for the defense to handle. His
void has been, and not having Benjamin St. Juste available or Jonathan Allen, because we lost Jonathan just before the half. That was tough on our guys, and we had a lot of young guys that are out there playing, trying to do their best.
Coach, there's a point where we were saying this is one of the hottest teams in the NFL, the streak that we are running on over the last month. What do you attest the biggest change in what's happened here?
Well, I think, again, not being able to overcome certain injuries probably, and that's probably the biggest disappointment.
As we looked at, kind of offensively with the Browns, knowing that you guys weren't going to pass it as much, did you guys think about maybe trying to open it up offensively a little bit more, especially on like your early downs, first and second downs, as opposed to you end up in a lot of third and longer situations, and they brought pressure?
Now, the biggest thing and probably the biggest disappointment was when we had the opportunities, we missed it, and we just can't do that.
What's the message to the team after this?
Well, more so than anything else is, like London said, we're cheering for Minnesota to win. Because if not, it's all about opportunity. And, we'll have an opportunity if they do win going into next week.
All right, Coach. I know this is frustrating for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just send it back up to Fred and Scott right now.
Thank you, Julie. And London, 24-10 the final. So quarterback decision obviously depends on what the scenarios are next week, I would think.
Yep.
Listen, this team had big games the last couple weeks at home, right, over the last 3 weeks, and they haven't posted. Bottom line, right?
I can tell right now by the way you said that your fathering techniques are very tender. Right? that tells me you deliver things in a way where you're more of
be real about it.
You're more of a teacher than a disciplinarian,
right?
And one thing about disciplinarian, we're all about the truth, and let's just tell the truth. In the last calendar month. Last year, we haven't won a game. We ain't won a game in less than 30 days. We ain't found out. And then what really rubs me the wrong way and chased me.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we lost to the Giants twice.
Yes. Tied them once, lost them the other.
Yeah, but you lost twice.
Sure, right.
And then
didn't beat them twice.
So it's crazy.
No, I'm with you. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We'll hear from more folks from the locker room after this one, perhaps. Maybe not. 800-493-1003. We don't know. 800-493-1003. Fred Smoot would have been running out the back door after a game like this.
Most of the team would have been running. We got nothing to say to y'all. Y'all saw what we saw.
Yeah.
We got whooped. We got manhandled. Yeah. We got our coach, I played. All right, nothing to say.
Yeah, next question. By the way, we are brought to you by Novak. That's where the numbers are brought to you by Novak, novak.com/save for ways to save. Let's get to some of the numbers real quick before we do get the timeout in. Commanders today, yes, time of possession, hooray. 3 turnovers, no. 33-32 to 26-28. But, again, the 3 interceptions, absolute killers today for the Commanders. The team also today, once again, the third down issues were a problem at time, although overall it doesn't look as bad. 7 of 16. Obviously, the chunk plays given up for the Browns. The Browns, Nick Chubb, 14 carries, 104 yards. Amari Cooper, only 3 catches, but it was for 105 yards and 2 of them were touchdowns.
He's averaging 33.3 yards per catch.
Yes, that's all. And, that's kind of sums it up. 17 first downs to 16 for Washington, but 301 yards for the Browns, 260 for the Commanders. So, yeah, they had more plays. They had one long drive that took up 11-plus minutes, the only touchdown drive. But in the end, they get whooped by the Browns in their home field. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to some calls and perhaps in the locker room. You're watching Command Center postgame live on the Washington Commanders YouTube channel and listening on the Washington Commanders Radio Network.
The holidays are for making memories, and you can count on Honda to help you make them. Whether it's in a capable Ridgeline, adventurous CRV, a rugged Passport, or a dynamic Pilot, start making memories of your own with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Come on, Mr. Sanders, focus.
Jamie Foxx, what's up, my man?
What up, Barry? Got time to chat bets?
Yeah.
All right, good. So we got Cincy over Cleveland, right?
Boom, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Now, parlay time. Would you put Miami in with L.A., Vegas, and Denver?
No. Terrible.
I was feeling that, though.
What did Jamie Foxx want?
Oh, I've got no idea. Come on, serve it up.
So we come from 2, I guess you can call it prestige universities when it comes to especially football.
Yeah.
University of Miami, man, when you speak of the U,
You talk about the ball players.
Right.
You talk about the guys that carried over from what we did in college or the collegiate level to the pros. Name some of the guys, whether you played with or before you, that set the tone
All right,
at a
back
high
here,
level.
Commanders Postgame Show 24-10, the final loss to the Browns, sending it back down to Julie Donaldson and London Fletcher standing by with Carson Wentz. Guys?
All right, Carson, it was week 6 when you last had the start. How comfortable did you feel out there today?
Yeah, honestly, I felt good. I felt physically and mentally ready to go. Obviously things didn't go well, but there's no excuses. I felt good, felt ready, felt locked in, and just didn't make enough plays.
When you have the start that you have, the 2 interceptions, the first 3 possessions, but then at the end of the first half, you seem like you got settled in. You guys go on a 21-play drive and it capped off with your touchdown run, and you make a great third down throw to Jahan Dotson. Did you feel like you had settled in and thought you were going to have a nice second half?
Yeah, I felt good. Obviously the couple early, I was being really aggressive. I got to be smart there, and then I thought I settled in after that, and the second half just didn't go our way, and didn't make enough plays, made some bad throws, made a couple bad decisions that kicking myself over, but that's football, and got to learn from it.
One of the reasons Coach decided to go with you is your ability to have those explosive plays, to be able to go downfield. When you have those 2 interceptions early on, how does that impact the way that you approach that later on in the game?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I try and always just be a forward-thinking player. I know I came out a little aggressive and it kind of cost me, but I didn't want to change my approach. Obviously, still went for it late in the game and tried to make plays. And again, you got to learn from it. Got to be smart. Got to make better throws, better decisions. But I try and put that past me and go play and put our team in a chance, in a position to win, and just didn't do it today.
In the second half, offense got a little bit stagnant in terms of the Browns were stacking the box. They had 8 men, knowing that you guys were going to run the football. I thought maybe that was an opportunity to spread it out, throw it a little bit early on those first and second downs, maybe get the ball out of your hand quicker. Did you feel like maybe you should have probably tried to take advantage of that a little bit more against this defense, rather?
It's always tough to say. I thought the drive before half, we were running it effectively and we were able to convert some third downs, and that's kind of been the recipe around here, is stay on the field on third downs and run it effectively. So we went back to what we think we do best, and I didn't convert on those third downs. We didn't stay on the field, and I think that we kind of slowed ourselves down there. But credit to them, they made some plays.
How do you approach this next week, understanding there's 1 game to go and there's going to be more decisions to be made?
For sure, yeah, the same way. I'll come in ready to work and prepare and everything, and put this behind me. That's the NFL. You got to learn from it. You got to move on and move quickly. And I know where we're at. I know where I'm at. I know what just happened, and got to learn from it. And can't beat myself up over it. And we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you, Carson. Appreciate your time. All right, that's definitely a difficult one. You can tell here in the locker room. Guys understand what this loss really means, London.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a situation where control your own destiny. Now you're in a position where you're scoreboard watching, hoping that the Minnesota Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers. You got a home game. You get a Cleveland Browns team that they came in 6-9, but they're a much better team than their record indicates, and just didn't play good football, in any facet of the ball game. If you really look at it, just not good enough football. It wasn't winning football.
And a lot of it has been, as we were talking with head coach Ron Rivera over the past month, they did lose a lot of really key players, which is why one of the things I always say is you have to have depth at pretty much every position. You have to have position flex, because that will happen. Others will be challenged to step up. And unfortunately, over the past month, that has not happened for this team as they do drop this one at home, with just 1 game to go against the Cowboys. Let's now to Fred and Scott. That's going to do it from down here in the locker room today.
Thanks, London, and that is it. You heard from Carson Wentz, and obviously, he said he knows what happened today and where things are. And
of course he does.
And look, this is in terms of his future here. I would suspect this is a one and done situation, no matter who's making those decisions when it's the offseason.
Very fragile.
There's no way you could roll that back out.
Very fragile. This reminds me of
chance.
A situation that I had with my ex-wife. I remember the day she looked me in the face and said, "You know what? The days are numbered." All right, yours, Fred Smoot. They're numbered. Then when I knew I was making all the wrong decisions, and that's what's happening right now. Like, at the end of the day, you had a this is your second year in a row with a team you could take to the playoffs. Like sometimes you earn the moniker that people give you. All right? And the thing about him is he's not clutch. Even the time that he won a Super Bowl ring, which most people forget, with Philadelphia, it was Nick Foles.
Well, nobody's forgotten that. I mean, they have a statue of Nick Foles in the Philly
Yeah,
special. Everybody knows that.
What I'm saying is he didn't finish what he started, and that was an MVP.
Well, I mean, like, this was never a popular acquisition in the market. I mean, let's be real. I mean, the fan base was not excited about this decision, but it was a decision they made. It was a decision that seemed like they doubled down on this week to prove that they were right and they could play this formula that was working for a stretch. But let's be honest, the last few weeks, Taylor Heineke, as we talked about last week, he's left the door open because he didn't play his best.
Yeah.
But this obviously was much worse than we had seen in previous weeks, and no matter how you cut it, this team is on the outside looking in. What's that?
Is this a deeper situation?
Absolutely, it's deeper than this. Let's be real. I mean, it's much deeper than this.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
yes.
if everybody can't stink.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can't stink.
Right.
Like, these are pro football players. Our running backs can run. Our receivers can catch. Our tight ends can.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's not bad. So now you got to say, all right, coordinator, who are you good with? Like, you have to ask that question about Scott Turner and this offense. Like, I'm sorry.
And everybody who voted this week, remember there was apparently a lot of people that were let in on this decision, or I don't know, they voted, but they got to give an opinion. I would love to know what those opinions were, and the ones that were full on, all in on number 11. Like, why were you all in on that? What did you think was going to be different about it than had been different in the past? And let's be real. I mean, before the Chicago injury, it wasn't like this was a well-oiled machine.
This looked like Chicago tonight.
Yes.
This looked like Chicago, except it was 70 degrees.
Except there was no defense.
Yeah.
That defense had backed up that team, and obviously the Bears kept self-imploding when they'd get in the red zone. This team did that for half. The Browns did. And then the second half got their act together, and, of course, Amari Cooper, Washington killer.
It's only one guy that, he don't feel good because we lost, but he feel good because the team has seen his worth, and that's Cameron Curl. Like, he should be sitting there like, you know what? Now they see my worth on this team.
Well, I think they know his worth, but here's the problem. You got to be available, and he hasn't been available for stretches in two parts of the season. The beginning of the season when they struggled, the end of the season. So, yes, as much as I say yes, oh, my God, wrap him up into millions and all this stuff, you also got to say, well, is he going to be available to me for the majority of the season and when it counts the most and when you need him the most? And I don't know the answer to that, and I'm not, what the situation is here. But, he and St. Juice both being out today, it's a huge blow. But, again, you've got to – I mean, this game today, I mean, there's no sense of urgency. The game plan for the offense, I don't know what to say about it. I heard you could run left on this team, and it didn't feel like they were running a ton to the left in the beginning of the game, and everybody's been gashing them for yards. This is, again, no matter how you cut it, it all goes back to the same spot, right? Well, the personnel's not there. Well, who decided on the personnel? Okay, I mean, where did all this stuff come from? I mean, it all goes back to the same spot. So it's kind of hard to talk yourself into all the excuses without taking some accountability at the top. So I don't know what you do. We all understand, I think, are realistic about how weird the situation's going to be in the offseason, because there's a lot of uncertainty there. Who's running the show. So I don't know if you're going to get what you want out of this offseason. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a major changes and a major shakeup, I'm not sure that that's going to take place either.
Something has to happen when you falter like this.
Absolutely.
This is one of those situations where it was there for you. Now, I can see if we started out 4-12 and we was playing for C.J. Stroud or some other quarterback. That's not the case. And you shouldn't. John Allen going down, big blow to us. We got D linemen. We got tons of them. Chase Young is back. We got D linemen. Like, I don't want to hear excuse. At the end of the day, Deshaun Watson has slowly got his way back into the NFL, into making plays. He still only threw for 160, 170?
Yeah, 160. 69.
But you can't give up 3 tubs to him.
No.
And Amari Cooper, I have very much respect for, but he's not a top 15 wide receiver in this league. I'm sorry, he's not. And he should not be running wide open when they have nobody else on their offense besides him. They can beat you down the field. Like, it's just too much. Like, sometimes I bust in my kid's room, and I'm mad about your room being nasty, but it's just too much. You got stuff written on the wall. You got stuff all over. Like, it's stuff.
Your kids are writing on the walls?
Listen, with
permanent marker?
Permanant marker.
Wow, like a Sharpie?
It's hard for me. So what I'm saying is, when you take stuff too far, I think this is one of them. You lost the crowd in this game.
You lost everybody, man. There were people here wanting to explode for you. This game, the Giants game, the last 2 home games, and they've begged for the fan base to be supportive, and they have been.
They was here
in the last 2 home games, and you completely let them down, and there's no other way to look at it. I mean, you scored literally 10 points in both games in the must-wins at home.
Yeah, we scored.
I mean, who else are you going to blame for that? You going to blame the fans on that? You can blame the media? I mean, enough. I mean, it's got to stop with somebody.
Well, I always heard when you point a finger at somebody, it's 3 more fingers pointing back at you plus a thumb. So at the end of the day, we can't point the finger at nobody. We can't be mad at the Browns for coming in here beating us because it's a football game.
Well, good
we
for
can't
them.
get mad at the New York Giants for tiring us and beating us.
By the way, Giants today had a chance to put an exclamation point on their playoff opportunity. What do? They went out and destroyed the Colts on their home field.
The fighting Saturdays, Jeff Saturdays?
They killed them.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
And by the way, the Eagles, losing today has made the Cowboys game next week here mean something for Dallas. So that's the other part of it. I mean, even if you played whoever at quarterback, is it going to make a difference next week? Because Dallas is going to come in here with some bad intentions, obviously, with the chance to win the division.
Well, we got 2 great things going for us. Michael Parsons seems to be injured, dinged up a little bit right now, so he might not play.
I don't think it matters the way these guys are blocking right now. I mean,
they can't block Stevie Wonder.
Right, it doesn't matter.
And at the other day, and then the other thing, not only is Michael Parsons, but Dak Prescott having a giveaway on The Price is Right because he's giving that interception to you. You get an interception. I thought he was working for the Oprah Winfrey Show. I ain't know what he would do it. So at the end of the day, we might have a chance when it comes to dealing with the Cowboys. Yeah. And plus, I don't care nothing about no Cowboys. I ain't got no feeling for no Cowboys. It don't matter if it's to get in the playoff or not. We got to beat them to have some self-respect going into the offseason. So at the end of the day, we have to win that game next week. And the big question all week is, are we going to be drinking a Heineken, I'm going to be drinking a Wentz. I don't know.
Or how? No. I mean, it's a 2.
Did you say how?
No. There's 2 people to decide from. The rookie quarterback, and that's a self-preservation move, and that's a smart move no matter what the situation is if you're this head coach. And the other move is to go back to Taylor Heineke if it is a meaningful game and you need that and you want the spark. But, no, you can't do what you just did today again, ever.
So what you're saying is
ever.
Carson Wentz, you're not going to tell me this. Because
I'm
I've seen football mortality up first.
Can't do it again, man. Can't do it again. First of all, he'll get booed every time. He got booed all day today. His first incompletion, he was booed. They were chanting Heineke's name in the first drive.
I thought they were saying Smoot.
No, they were not doing Smoot.
I have a clue what they were saying.
So, I mean, you're just putting the guy set up for failure, and clearly he's not built that way. He's not built that way. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's just stop. I mean, come on. Enough. How much more people have to see? I don't know. Apparently not enough for the people that matter. All right. We are brought to you by Crown Royal. Live generously, and life will treat you royally. Please drink responsibly.
I do.
All right. I don't know how you pick an offensive player of this game, but we're going to have to do it at some point. We'll do that. We'll also take a timeout. 800-493-1003. 800-493-1003.
Joe Gibbs.
Yes.
Hey, I sat up there for 3 quarters. I sat up there with Joe Gibbs for 3 quarters, enjoyed him. We talked.
Right.
Me, him, Gary.
You're not going to give it to Tutty, the new mascot?
I'm not giving Tutty nothing. When Tutty danced out there,
Tutty some love,
we didn't score another point after Tutty hit the 50-yard line.
Leave it out. Leave Tutty out of that. You're slandering Tutty.
I don't eat pork no more after Tutty danced out there.
Let's take a timeout. Local break 37 if you're confused. You're watching Command Center Postgame live on the Washington Commanders YouTube channel, listening to the Washington Commanders football.
Big one.
From selecting the perfect produce and triple checking its quality to preparing it for you, we have perfected the art of fresh.
Hey, thanks for working through the holidays.
Clara, Dad says you're working over Christmas.
Here you go, Mrs. Carson.
Let me pay you.
No, you're not going to pay me.
We are the helping
Holly, happy holidays, Clara.
Thanks for everything you do, Clara.
We couldn't let you be alone for Christmas.
We purchased a tree.
Oh my gosh.
The modern world is a digital world, at home, at work, or on the go. We rely on data every day. Losing it can result in lost family photos, lost business, or even a lost job. Want to avoid these problems? You need cyber protection, where backup and cybersecurity meet. Only Acronis offers backup solutions that also stop ransomware before your files are damaged. It's easy, efficient, and secure cyber protection for all your data. Try Acronis free for 30 days. Go to Acronis.com today for modern cyber protection.
Trust, you remember my story with Chase.
obviously, going to
Oh.
Michigan myself.
Please tell the story, dude.
He's at Ohio State, obviously.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was on the field goal block team, and this dude would be jumping over the line between the A gap, B gap, jumping up, trying to block the field goal.
Yeah.
And I've only smack talk once in my entire college
And he picked
career.
the biggest dude on the field.
And it was when we played them. We made the field goal, went right up to Chase, and I.
Heisman my ass.
I
Is
just
that what
went
you
off.
said?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I went off on him,
It's
and
always a long snapper. It's always a long snapper.
I told
Cheese.
I told him.
Gets into it with a long snapper every game.
I told Cheese.
I told him, I
Cheese-
said, throw a punch. I was like, let's get
You
this
said
guy.
that?
Yes, I was like, let's get this guy out of the game.
That's
I'll shake one for the
Dude,
team.
I told Cheese, I was just like, what if one day, like, the locker room's empty, and it just happens to be you and Chase, and Chase has a locker really close to the specialist. 3 down. And what if everybody's out of there except for you and Chase, and you're just sitting there, maybe you're getting dressed, and you turn around, and he's just rating your grill, and he looks at you and goes, I remember what you said.
What would you do?
Jesus.
I don't know. I'd probably. I don't know what I would do. I'd have to run or
position
something.
ASAP and just start. You'd find a whistle.
I would yell for the guys in the equipment room.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not helping you.
Somebody help me out.
Back here on the FedEx Field, the scene of the crime today is the Browns came in, won at 24-10. Haven't seen a win here since November
Hey, you know why they
of
playing
2022.
You know why they playing that church music, that
What's
preacher
that?
music we just got played? Because we need to be prayed for. All right, that's why. That's
Need
why.
prayer? Is that what it is?
Hey, this house need to be blessed. All right? If you come in here and let the Browns of Cleveland do you like this, listen. Do y'all even know what we used to say as a joke inside the NFL? Like when we say we taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. Do y'all know what that means? All right? I don't think y'all know what that means.
I don't think you need to tell us.
It's doing the number 2.
Oh, no. Like I said, you didn't have to tell us.
Where the tish at? We taking the
Browns
Browns to the
we got
Super
you.
Bowl.
We got you.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
All right. So the Packers and Vikings game underway. Obviously, you got a scoreboard watch. Root for Smoot's old team, the Vikes.
The Vikes.
And you Vike that with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
They've got it at a 3rd and goal at the 1 of the Packers after a block punt, but apparently have gotten nowhere so far. We'll keep you posted there. That might be
Hey, I'm
something to be interested in, but then you still need help next week. It's not, and again, the way this group has played the last few weeks, really hard to imagine them coming here beating a Dallas team that's going to have everything to play for.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, at this point, and I just think, for me, this is just for me selfishly.
Yeah, Old Dominion.
Next week, show me Sam Howell to let me know if I've got.
Come on,
if
man.
I've got something there. If I've
Sam
got something there.
Howell.
Yeah, show me him to know if I've got something there going into next season. Because look,
did you not learn from today? We just played a dude that ain't played since week 5.
Right.
Now you want to play a dude that ain't never played against the Cowboys?
Yeah, it's going to be potentially a meaningless game for you. Show me as a staff that you can get him ready. Show me that your evaluation was correct. And show me if he's got anything there. Because if not, guess what pool you're dipping into in the offseason once again?
Oh,
the quarterback pool. Yes.
It ain't no doubt that we're going back there.
But how far invested are you going to be? Are you going to be desperate enough to go grab Derek Carr
and
whatever the heck his problems
are? Derek Carr?
Are you going to go be desperate enough to go out and
trade
think
up
that you
for
can,
C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, right. Give up like 5 picks again like you did way back in 2012.
Overrated.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Picks are overrated.
Okay,
because we continue to pick. Every team, you're going to hit or miss on picks.
Right.
Now, the one thing about life is if I got a proven commodity, I would take a proven commodity over a wish or want and a need any day. So at the end of the day, yeah, Derek Carr might not be so bad. Not after what I just seen out there today.
So another trash to treasure moment for this franchise at quarterback that has worked so well.
Well, I am from Mississippi, and buying the 85 Buick, long as the engine crank up and get me from A to B, it's fine with me. Like, listen to me.
So he couldn't get it done with his best friend, his soulmate, at wide receiver, the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
couldn't even hit him anymore, but you're going to be okay with him coming here with 3 people to feed.
You would say
just
that.
Asking.
He just gave his love soul made 100 catches. Like, what are you talking about?
He also missed him at 25 times in the Pittsburgh game, if you cared to watch. I mean, it was embarrassing, and that's why he's on the sideline right now.
Why don't you take – you know what? The only reason I skipped –
Vikings, by the way, settled for 3.
Hey, the only reason I skipped history class when I was in high school, because I was all about math. I'm all about counting. So I don't care about any of the other stuff. I done told you before, 8 billion people on this planet. We ain't found 32 people that can play quarterback great at one time ever. 8 billion. We ain't found 32 at the same time. This is not the easiest thing to do. I'll take a Derek Carr. I'm sorry, I will.
Okay. All right, 800-493-1003. And also knowing that you have major needs, the interior, the bare minimum of the offensive line. You might need to find more than one person that can play linebacker at a good level, and you probably need a little bit more help in the secondary, needless to say.
Well, we are going to free up some money. Don't forget Dollar Bill Jackson. He got fat rat's disease before he left.
But the new quarterback's going to replace the old quarterback's money is the problem. See what I'm saying?
And I'm fine with that, but I still got William Jackson III's money. I still got money opening up in other places, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
Like I'm saying, I could draft offensive lineman, sign a Cosme moves to guard. Long as Leno is your second best tackle, you got something there. So it's ways to fix this. We just watched Cincinnati fix their offensive line over summer. They fixed it over summer. So at the end of the day, it can be fixed because we don't have many holes. Like, you can sit here and say all you want to about this team. This is not Holy Moly's Donut Shop. This is a very good roster, all right? But for it to be great, you got to have a great quarterback. I'm just saying, you got to have a good quarterback, not great.
All right, let's get to calls, 800-493-1003. Gaithersburg, Scott, you are first up with us here on the postgame show.
Too many Scotts.
A lot of Scotts out there.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? Man, I talked to y'all earlier this season around the Eagles game. And, man, look, this is my feeling, right? It's time to move on from Rivera and his staff. I mean, I appreciate them bringing us, more discipline and that culture, instilling that. But they're done, man. Like, this is the most embarrassing loss I can remember in years. I mean, the Browns, they're awful. I mean, like this year, like what I watched today, they are awful. There's no excuse, none. Like, we just need to cut Wentz. You know what I'm saying? Cut our losses. Find a QB, whether it's going to be Howell. I mean, I feel you throw Howell in the game last game. What'd you say?
So you want to cut a man with 4 quarters of football left? We ain't got but 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, just wait till the end of the season.
You can't cut him now. I understand you want to purge everything. But we still have a chance to make the playoff. I know you don't like how that feels.
Although the Packers are now up 7-3 on a 105-yard kickoff return. So
yeah, but guess what?
You didn't like that, did you?
Yeah, I've been saying, but the only reason about it is ain't Aaron Rodgers. He been smoking hookah or whatever he been doing in them tents. I don't believe in him right now.
Well, they've been playing well lately. I don't know if you paid attention.
Yeah,
they're on a run. They're on a bit of a run.
But I know that has to come to an end.
Listen, I'm tired of scoreboard watching. I'm on to next year. I'll be honest with you. I'm on to next year.
To the draft.
I'm on to the draft. I'm on to the decisions in the offseason.
Anthony Richardson.
And look, the last caller's point, we're going to hear a lot of that today, and I get it. But you also have to be realistic and understand there's a bigger thing going on here where changes are going to take place, and depending on how quickly that takes place will be dependent on who's going to be making all the other decisions.
Well, Old Dominion, where you went to school at, TCU, not that different, same school. You probably want us to draft Max Duggan.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
about
he
that.
stinks.
No, I'm not a fan
he stinks.
of doing that. But, again, you're going to have to do something different than what you're doing right now.
Yeah, you are, and you're going to have to ask yourself, I have a ready-made roster. Do I insert a young rookie quarterback, or do I insert a ready-to-go veteran and hope everything turns out well?
Again, I guess it depends on who's making those decisions. Hey, Ramsey in Austin, Texas, what's happening?
What's up, Ramsey?
Ramsey,
I know exactly how you're doing. But listen, there's an obvious thing I want to say, and then there's a not obvious thing I want to say. Obviously, look at Taylor Heineke's body language when he plays, and how in the game he actually is, and how much he wants to win, and that's infectious, and that affects how the defense plays. It affects how the offense plays. They've got all of these weapons, and he's the one who's able to utilize them. He has a couple of games where you got to just admit that the referees threw those 2 games, and that's obvious to anybody who's watching it. The second thing is It's not the Washington Commanders. It's the Washington Redskins. Look around. Look at all the fans wearing the Redskins things. And those people aren't racists or nothing. They're Redskin fans. They're fans of Sammy Baugh, Billy Kilmer, Sonny Jurgensen, Joe Theismann, all down the line. Let's stop all the nonsense. Fire this Major Tuddy or Huddy or whatever, Major Tuddy, the cause that they're being sued.
Tuddy ain't
Anyway,
been here for 2 quarters.
Right. All right.
How
Thanks
you
for
going
the
to try
call.
to get rid of Tuddy 2
guess.
quarters? Tuddy ain't been here for 2 quarters.
I know, man. You can't fire the mascot. I mean, I don't even fire the mascot. They're not changing the name back either. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Get over
people
this
gotta
crap.
let that
I mean,
go.
just move on, man. I mean, come on. It's you can keep your stuff. You can change the lyrics to the songs in the stands. People were doing it today. I get it, but I mean, you got a better chance of winning Powerball.
Yeah,
you really do.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: how do you feel as a Commanders fan, knowing that Lil Shanahan, Lil Red Lobster, over there working magic with Brock Potty Meat Purdy?
Yeah.
All right.
So
you know
again,
what potty meat is?
He was a third-string quarterback to start the season, correct?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, he was third string.
Yeah.
So that meant he was getting how many reps a week with
None.
the first team?
Absolutely as
So
many as a
you're
dead
yelling at me for thinking that they could, maybe, I don't know, do their job and coach up Sam Howell for a week and put a game plan together for Sam Howell that might work? I don't know. Call me crazy. I just thought these were highly paid, smart football people that could do this kind of stuff because you're right. Around the NFL, you see some really smart, innovative stuff going on. It's just not happening here. It's just not happening here. And that's what is annoying, especially these last 2 dud-of-a-home games. I'm not even thinking about the 49ers game because I knew they were going to get smashed.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
knew they were going to get smashed.
You know
and they
what?
did.
I left
By a third-string
hey,
quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant.
Actually, I left the 49ers game feeling better about the team than I did in some wins.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they stayed right
And
there.
the 49ers, by the way, let's go through the people they're missing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Everybody.
So if everyone wants to throw a damn pity party for every injury.
Ooh, don't cry.
All right? I mean, it's crazy. But there are teams that deal with this stuff week in and week out.
Every week.
And keep moving on, right? And then there's the others that just lay the excuses out for you.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. I mean, man.
It's called enabling.
It's interesting.
It's called enabling.
It's fascinating.
We see it all the time in society where something needs to be reinforced, but no, they comes up with an excuse. If you give yourself an excuse, you're giving yourself a way out, but you're selling yourself way short. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're making excuses.
We are.
We're not coming up with any answers, and that's what football is about. Because if you don't, the game will show you that you didn't.
Yeah, and again, the other autopsy part of this thing is, just the fall apart again after you played yourself back up, the slow start. I mean, this is why it's so like you have to get like a royal flush to finish off the season every year because of the hole you dig early in the year, and that's just no way to operate if you're going to be at a high level. And it was also year 3, and we were told this was the year to start thinking about winning.
Hey, let me tell you something, Jack. Let me tell you what looking good looked like today. A 21 play drive. How many plays we have on it?
21 plays, 96 yards.
You shouldn't be proud of that. 21. It took you 21 plays consecutively to score on the Cleveland Browns. 21 play. I have never seen a 21 play drive.
But yet that was
life.
the one rewarding moment of the game, which is brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly.
Yeah.
But yes, no. I mean that was. But at that time, you're like, okay, you've done this thing. Your formula. You hit it. You hit what you had to do, and you got Wentz to dive over the top. That was great. But then. Nothing after that. Nothing after that.
20 plays.
Except the Joey the Sly kick. Yeah.
Hey, 20. Listen to me. They held the ball for 9, 10 minutes.
11 minutes. 11 plus minutes.
You're not going to do that on good teams. Yeah. The Browns, luckily, wasn't a good team.
True.
At what point you say, all right, we put this guy in because he has a big arm. We want big plays, and you go on a 21 play.
True. I mean, there was a very few chunk plays. Obviously, when he did go deep, he threw it into coverage, got picked. And made, was too impatient. And you saw it as the game went on. The Browns were just inching closer to the line of scrimmage. There was really one safety in the middle of the field. Everybody else was in the box dang near. I mean, it was crazy. No respect for the quarterback.
Went to the Pro Bowl today.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I always knew he had talent.
Right.
And I told you about Emerson, Mississippi State Bulldog at the corner over there. I'm not finna try to make this your Grandmama Nim's Browns.
Right.
These Browns have talent. They have a franchise quarterback that's finding his way back. They got a franchise wide receiver. They got offensive line. They got a running back. This is a good team. I'm not sitting here to slander them. I'm not doing it. But we're supposed to be on the roll. And we're a team that ain't run in a month. And now you say you're switching Carson Wentz in to give us some spice and some life.
Spark, I believe the word was, yeah.
Spark. He had as much spark as a thunderstorm in 1603. All right, watched by Stevie Wonder. All right, all I'm telling you is this: you can see electricity. Feeling it is two different things. I felt the fans here. I seen a lot of pig noses in the stands. I said Coach Gibbs here. The nostalgia was set right. The stage was set right. One win and we in. Next thing you know, we lose to the Browns. As a fan, I want to say I'm sorry. As an ex-player, I want to apologize to you because I know what we took y'all through emotionally today. And today was not real football. Today was showing up thinking that they were going to give it to you and lay down, and you got whooped.
Yeah, and now again, you're at the mercy of being scoreboard watching, hoping Kirk Cousins could win one for you. I mean,
we need you, Kirk.
It's as low as you can go at this point.
We gave Kirk 80
low
million.
as you can go.
We gave Kirk 80 million reasons why.
You're not looking
he
good.
He should save us right now.
Down 7-3. All right, we'll take a timeout. And again, the hardest part of all these formulas that we go through is the Commanders actually winning a game. That's the funny part of this all. Not funny, but funny, haha, but funny like it's sad, makes you want to cry or go home and drink heavily. Because the hardest part of this thing is actually for this team to get together and win a game. I mean, have they been close to winning for the last 3 weeks? I don't think so.
I'm shocked that you would sit here and say you picked Cooper Rush because Dak probably won't play next week if they don't need it.
No, they need it. They have a chance to win the division. Dak Prescott's coming here. Your guy, you Mississippi State, all stick together. He's coming here next week.
Yeah.
All right, if you're on the lines hanging there, we're going to take a timeout. We'll get back to your calls, 800-493-1003. You're watching Command Center Postgame live on the Washington Commanders YouTube channel, listening on the Washington Commanders Radio Network.
Washington Commanders football is back, and so is our BOGO. On game day, buy one large pizza and get a second large pizza for free. Order online or download the app today. Paisanos, official pizza partner of the Washington Commanders.
PaisanosPizza.com.
You have to live.
I'm sorry, Tex.
You don't have to be sorry. You never ran from anything in your life, and you're not going to start now. You got to fight it. Wait a minute. Oh, snap. Dallas just covered the spread. We got the money, baby.
Jamie.
Bang. Jamie, could you just... Thank you. You're right. Hold off. Okay. Where was I?
Oh, I was dying.
Dying. Let's go.
Sorry.
You ever wonder why people are always on their phones? They're banking with Bank of America. Look at this guy. He bought those tickets on his credit card, and he's racking up the rewards.
She's using Zelle to pay him back for the hot dogs he's about to buy.
That's going to bring it to
And
a
the
close here
announcer,
after 3.
he's not checking the stats. He's finding some investment ideas with Merrill.
And third, as you know, in baseball means 3.
Digital tools so impressive, you just can't stop banking. What would you like the power to do?
It's 4th down, seconds on the clock. He hands it off, finds a hole in the middle. Clear, nothing but
Brian, move!
incredible. A touchdown for the win. I can't believe it.
Pizza, better with Pepsi.
Probably a bodyguard. Cheese will be the CEO of Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its CEO.
What would I be?
A lumberjack. I don't know about
Engineer.
I'd be a construction worker.
Teacher. You be love the kids, man.
No, I dip and dab in the fashion.
I'm going to be a broadcaster. I speak the best out of everybody out here.
You really lying.
Facts.
I'd be like the next Bryson Tiller.
Lie. What's the lie?
Relax. We all know he can't sing for real. Yeah, I'll dip and dab in the fashion. I'll probably be somewhere in that realm. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Put It On.
Y'all seen Ozarks? I'm running my own casino. You know me, you know I'm running my own casino. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Music producer.
Entrepreneur. Big entrepreneur.
I'll be a fashion designer.
Fashion designer? Professional fisherman.
I like food, so I'll probably be a chef. I like video games. Streamer? YouTuber?
Streamer, YouTuber.
That'd be tough.
I'll be an artist. I'll be making music right now for sure.
Stay home, Dad. R&B singer.
Oh my God.
And to be a construction worker.
I'll be a singer. Stay home dance, the best jump.
I should give y'all a little something. We're gonna say that for another time.
Yeah, Richard Dangerous. And she diamonds in the rain every time that she crying. Every rain so emotional.
I'm selling shoes. No cap.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. Selling shoes.
I'm owning shoes to sell.
I ain't gonna lie. I got my own building. 60th floor. I'm the boss.
What you do?
It don't matter. Just know. It don't matter what I do. Just know. I got a building. I'm on the 60th floor. Yeah. I'm on the 60th floor.
Too high.
All right, this is a tough one. We earned our Fred, you earned your money on this one. We have come to a consensus here on the set.
All right.
The offensive player of the game brought to you by Victory Van Moving and Storage, delivering excellent service for 75 years and a proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Brian Robinson, 87 yards. And they weren't easy yards, 24 carries. I mean, this Browns team that had getting pushed around, shoved around, beaten and brutalized against the run, they came here today and
pushed us around a little bit.
Pushed the Commanders around. They penetrated the backfield. I mean, a lot of times, he was not – I believe there was the stat that you were getting like sometimes 4 yards a carry before contact against Cleveland. And if you ran to the left, it's like 5.5 yards a carry, almost 6 yards. But not today. Not today.
They must have moved the people from the right
Joe Wood
to the left.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
you know what? Sometimes coaching ain't that hard.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got it, yeah.
They're going to run left. Let's move everybody to the right.
Yeah,
That's why I saw Miles Garrett. Garrett most of the time. He was over here on the left, and he was causing havoc. So it's sometimes, let's not make this
rocket science.
Yeah, like Coach Gibbs always used to tell me, like, you know what? You ain't got to be legitly the smartest person in the world to be called a genius in football. Because you know what? Basically in football, if you're a great coach, you're a celebrated gym teacher.
Right. He used to say that all the time. We're a bunch of gym teachers. Right?
Yeah, that's what you are. You're a gym teacher.
Bunch of PE majors.
Yeah, you majored in
and
PE.
And I pick up on that a lot watching football these days for some reason, especially on Sundays.
Until you run into a guru like Sean McVay.
Right. Until we had a guru. Yeah, we did have the guru.
No, we had like 5 gurus.
Yeah, about 5 gurus.
At one time.
They're all sprinkled around the league. All right, 800-493-1003, 800-493-1003. The YouTubers are going to bail on us after this. They've got a happy hour planned, or I guess it'd be a sad hour, right? It's not a happy hour.
It's a sad hour, but it's also National Hangovers Day.
Is that right?
Yeah, New Year's Day. National Hangovers Day.
How hungover do you think the Ohio State fans are?
They are hurt. No, their feelings are hurt. They crying inside. Their smile turned upside down, and that's a frown. So they really hurt, and I have hey, I'm an SEC guy.
I know you are.
So at the end of the day, I was pulling for them Georgia Bulldogs. So at the end of the day, whatever happened was supposed to happen.
Good day in college football.
Hey,
at least we had that.
Maybe we'll draft Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett, the 4th.
Yeah.
He's got to end up in politics. All right, Jordan in D.C., how you doing?
Yo,
Jordan, you with us?
Fellas?
You are, man.
I'm right here. Yeah.
Talk to us.
Man, I don't even know where to begin. We need a quarterback. We need an offensive line. We need a better play calling. I mean, today was just despicable. I mean, I don't even know.
That's all you got on your list for next for 2023 quarterback, offensive line, and OC. Okay.
All right, so if I ask you right now, what's your New Year's football revolution for this team? Let's just say, I'm going to put this in your lap. 4 quarters left. We need to win this game to go to the playoff. How do you get it done with this roster? Who your quarterback, and what else do you change?
Oh, he hung up. It was too hard of a question. You scared the guy off air.
I asked a legit question right there. Because everybody have a New Year's resolution that we never live by.
Yeah.
Like my homeboy said he was through with gluten. All right? Now he 305. All right? You ain't through with gluten.
Oh, it's a new year.
No, he wasn't. He said he was going to never eat gluten again. He woke up
last year.
Yeah,
okay.
That was last night.
Oh, last night.
That would happen to be last year. And now he woke up eating gluten again. So at the end of the day, I never believe people until like February.
Well, tomorrow is really the day where you start. This it's handled as the holiday, right? Tomorrow is the 2nd, since this was on a Sunday. So he could just take it as a mulligan and start tomorrow.
See, that's what's wrong with us. That's what's wrong. And make
I'm just saying, never too late. It's never too late.
Teammate,
right?
Chris was every bit shocked me to death. I ain't seen nothing but a head and a neck. He was like 210 pounds. I ain't know what he was doing. So then I talked to Chris, and he was like, yeah, I'm a Presbyterian. I don't eat pork. I was like, why are you here for the hogs release? Second, he was like, I don't think I eat his fish. So I seen that's evidence of doing things the right way.
We had one year where the offensive linemen here in the current team were going to be vegans, remember?
Yes, they changed.
Yeah, they were vegans for a brief period of time.
They changed themselves to the nasty vegans.
Yeah.
And guess what?
It's hard to do as an offensive line to be vegan. It really is. But they tried it for a little bit.
Y'all will be shocked how many of those guys have to fight to keep weight on. Like, y'all would think they got to fight to keep weight off.
Right.
Like, they're not really fat dudes. They're really just big old men at 270, 280, and they need another 25, 30 pounds to be 305, 310.
Do you want some more bad news?
I love bad news.
Kirk Cousins taken to the house by the Packers Savage for 75 yards, 14-3 Green Bay. So go ahead and cancel Christmas, folks. If you already didn't, it is O-V-E-R. It's over.
You can't tell me Kirk didn't know what he was doing today. You can't tell me he woke up this morning like, you know what? They worth the loss. Well, just to rub it into the Washington players, I'm going to go out here and have the worst game of the year.
Again, make your decision a lot easier because I know some people are unaware of this, but you will be eliminated from the playoffs if the Packers win today. Today's game broadcast presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let's get to Sam in Fredericksburg. What's happening, Sam?
Hey, is it my turn, guys?
Yeah, you're on the air, man.
Hello? All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Here's a couple things. Number one, Major Cuddy. Not about it. Going to give me nightmares about it. Number two, if you're throwing things at our players as Commanders fans, you need to stop. Stay home. Don't throw things on the field for the love.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And number three, Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke are better than Mark Brunell was at quarterback. Our wide receiving core is better than the wide receiving core we had under Santana Moss. A lot of our defense is better than the defense at the time that we had, right? There's one difference, and it's the guy. It has to do with the guy upstairs. His name starts with J, and it ain't Jesus today, right? Joe Gibbs. I'll hang up here. What you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, thanks for the call. One guy's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And the other one, a couple of games over 500.
Yeah. Or in this case, at 500. Under 500 now. 7-8-1, correct? Yeah, 7-8-1.
I mean, totally, career-wise.
Yeah.
So, listen, I always tell people when you look at a game, especially like football, think of it as chess, not checkers. The pawns, everything on the board means something. All right, the board means something. Everything means something, but guess what means the most? The person who's moving those pawns. All right, that's the difference in it. So at the end of the day, to win a chess match, you have to be more knowledgeable, you have to anticipate, and you have to be ready for change. Evidently, we're not ready for change because when change happens, we never benefit from it. Second of all, you need to stop Deshaun Watson, who's only, 5 games back into it?
Yeah.
4 games?
4 games. Yeah.
All right, Nick Chubb, thank Lord he only ran the ball 14 times. How many times did he run it? Nick Chubb probably ran the ball, 7
Not enough. I'm sorry, I'm on the Packers game.
Yeah, 14 times for 100. If they would have gave it to him 20,
they had a 200-yard day.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is sometimes God bless you in ways you just don't know. Like I remember when my girlfriend left me in 10th grade, I thought it was the end of the world. God blessed me, took her out of my life. See, sometimes you got to realize things happen, they happen for a reason.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Washington Commanders Radio Network. All right, 800-493-1003 after the Browns' 24-10 loss, or 10 win, I should say, loss for the Commanders, a 24-10 loss at the hands of the Browns. Right now, Packers taking it to the Vikings, so getting no help on the out-of-town scoreboard. That would eliminate the Commanders if that were to stand. Next week's game would mean nothing for them. Dallas, on the other hand, has a chance to be the NFC East champions with a win and an Eagles loss. So they have plenty to play for next week. All right, let's get another call before we break. Let's get to Rick in Front Royal. Go ahead, Rick.
Yes, sir, buddy. I called back week 4, and I made a comment there that Mr. Smoot understood, but apparently you didn't. I said that when I pay a wino on Wednesday, he ain't coming to work Thursday or Friday, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's what I suggested back in on week 4 when our defense would look like a bunch of people that didn't even know each other before, but yet 3 of them was Pro Bowlers, I'm told. Our defense, we had no pass rush, and on and on and on. And yes, I did have a bad day at work, more than one. You said Rick never had a bad day. Oh, yes, I did. The difference is, working for myself, when I had a bad day, I didn't get paid. And I was working that much harder overtime further on days after, like the average working man that works for himself. If he has a bad day, he loses money. He don't get paid. He don't make money so he can joke about it. So I just wanted to make that point clear because you hung up on me before I could comment, you know.
First of all, I don't control the phone lines, although I will hang up on you in a minute if you don't slow down, okay? I don't you said wino on Wednesday and I didn't get it?
Yeah, because I knew what it was.
Of course you did.
If you pay a wino on Wednesday, don't expect to see him Thursday or Friday because he ain't going to be at work.
So Rick's the guy who thinks that NFL players shouldn't get paid unless they win.
Oh, no, that ain't the way sports go.
Well, no, that's what he's saying. Okay, so I remember this ridiculous call, but go ahead. Keep going. You're doing a great job. Did you hang up on Rick again? Oh, go ahead. There he is.
Yeah, he hung up on me before I could respond. A working man in the regular world don't get paid when he has a bad day. I just wanted to make that clear, okay? That's all.
I want to tell you something. But actually, that's not true, but go ahead.
Yeah, I do get paid.
People get paid all the time that are bad at their job, actually. There's a lot of people that get paid that do a bad job.
He can't tell me he ain't pulled up to a McDonald's, put in an order, flew around there, and didn't get nothing he ordered. Yeah,
it happens all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So, yes, I really should hang up on you again, but keep going. I'm fascinated to hear what else pearls of wisdom we can get from you.
Yeah, there is some wisdom here. You just don't understand the mindset.
Yeah.
Rivera was fired.
Oh, I understand the mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk a lot, but you don't listen enough to understand.
Yeah,
okay?
That's right.
Hey, I told him the same thing, brother. I told Jack the same thing. He talk a lot, but he don't do no listening. I'm glad. Hey, listen.
Exactly. Some people love to hear themselves talk. Some people love to hear themselves talk. And Mr. Smoot is a great player and a great guy. I like his mentality, and he's a heck of a player, rather. Anyway, Rivera, I see why he got fired before, because he has no spark. He walks around like he's in a coma, okay? Rio stands over on the sideline like he's studying in the dictionary and makes some of the most ridiculous blitz calls at times when we can't afford to blitz body, especially when you got subs in as backups that don't even know their job to begin with because they were never taught their job or they're too not knowledgeable enough to play the position, okay? Number 3, I don't know why we paid Wentz to come here when I believe, if my math's right, he'd already been fired from 3 other teams for lack of ability to play that position.
Well, just 2.
And the fourth, 2, whatever. Too many. Too many. Scott Turner, supposed to be an offensive coordinator. Well, I coached in the same Little League town that he played in. He was known for having the most expensive shoes in the ballpark. That was all he was known for, okay? So how can you go and not know all of a sudden you're a offensive coordinator in a league and your play call is absolutely horrible? He doesn't. He sets his players up for failure. When they're bringing a heavy rush and your man can't get a hit from all angles and they say, oh, the guy fumbled again. Well, you stand there and get hit from 4 sides by 4 300-pound guys. Let me see you hold on to the ball. Then you got Snyder, who's a joke. So you're 0 for 5 right there. And 0 for 5 in my book don't make a winner, no matter how you add it up. Okay?
Hold up now. You was right on the first 4. And
now you hit Fred's. Hit Fred's pressure point. Sorry, Rick. Now he's going to hang up on you.
Hey, listen now. I let you go on with the first 4,
boy.
but we ain't going to have no Snyder slander on my watch. At the end of the day, them is good people. You need to meet and talk to them before you judge people. Because that's what I always tell people. Don't judge people what nobody tell you, what nobody think of, nobody think of.
Now Rick's going to be on you. You're going to be on Rick's S list now, I am. For not liking his wino comment a few weeks ago.
That's fine. Listen, me being on people's bad side ain't never hurt my feelings.
Slander a wino is no reason to do it. Yeah, and again, by the way, in radio, there are plenty of failures that show up every week to the bank window. So trust me. Anyway, but thanks for the call. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember the conversation. I think it was one of these guys like they should all be paid for merit, and only get paid if you win. And
first of all, it wouldn't be no league.
Went out the window like a million years ago, and I get it. It was your dream to play pro ball and you couldn't, so you think that you shouldn't be paid or whatever. But get over it.
Yeah.
That's not the way the world works. All right, thank you. Well, that was a call. All right, let's get to...
That was Whiskey Rick, brought to you by Crown Raw.
All right, 800-493-1003, 800-493-1003. We'll take a timeout. We'll get to hour 2 of the official postgame. YouTubers are saying goodbye. Goodbye, YouTube. Have a good night. Enjoy your... your crowns, or whatever it is you're drinking. Please drink responsibly, whatever you're doing.
Drink responsibly. It's New Year's.
Right. This game's broadcast that I mentioned was today brought to you by Pepsi Zero Sugar. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Thank you for that. All right. We'll take a break. Come back. Get to hour 2. We'll get to the Ron Rivera podium portion of the postgame as well. You're listening to the Washington Commanders Radio Network.
Dear Pat.